Good afternoon. I'm Bob. He's Randall, and we are Bob Randall and Company exclusively coming to you at 3 p.m. on Mondays. As always, one of our favorite things to do on Monday. How about you, Randy? How's your day going?
Oh man, it's a well, it's not a wonderful day. The weather's kind of not very good, but I had a great weekend. Boy, it's great getting there twisting balloons again and showing some magic. Finally gotten back to work, so woo, I love it. I love it. Little tired
Yes.
though. It's kind of so I'll get back used to it. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Well, sure.
Happy
Anytime,
Monday.
as we were discussing, you take a short period of time. It doesn't matter if it's a couple of weeks, a month, 2 months. You kind of have to get back in the swing of things, and get yourself back into that showtime mode. And yeah, you kind of one of them deals where once you learn how to ride a bicycle, yes, it's easy to ride a bicycle. Just got to learn not to fall.
Yeah, just got to get back out and get to it. And man, it was nice. Last 2 days were gorgeous. Today, not so much, but it's okay. I had a short little thing this morning, so I avoided the rain. And then hopefully it'll got the grill. A few people are coming over after the show tonight. We're gonna have a little barbecue tonight too, so it's gonna be a great Memorial weekend.
That is the thing to do on Memorial Monday is get out, grill, spend time with family, friends, those you care about, and just prop your feet up and have a good time.
How's it's been a good time. How's the weather down there to have a good time? It's been
Well,
crazy the way it sounds on the news.
yeah, we had some really bad storms, tornadoes, just 20 minutes north of us. That came across within probably even half that distance where they were last spotted. They were on the ground, long-term supercell. Did quite a bit of damage up between us and the Red River of Oklahoma, and just it was just one small isolated supercell, but it was pretty devastating where the tornado was on the ground for such a long period. I get on YouTube, Texas Storm Chasers. They have, of course, tornado chasers, storm chasers, and get to watch live coverage. And they're going through there, and you see all the debris flying, and it's pretty crazy, pretty intense. Those guys, most everybody runs from weather. Those guys are like, going into it and trying to get there as quick as they can, and speeding and passing cars where you shouldn't be passing cars to try to make their way there as quick as possible to cover it for everyone. But I tell you what, it keeps you on the edge of your seat when you're watching those guys perform as professional storm
Man,
chasers.
it's crazy. I'm sorry. I'm hightailing it the other way.
Yeah,
I see a tornado that way. I'm going that way. It's
absolutely.
they really they thrive on that stuff. But it like you said, it's so exciting to watch, so thrilling to watch. But I'm surprised it hasn't been more like casualties or something like that.
Yeah, because those guys put themselves in harm's way.
Yeah, they do.
One guy I was watching the other night had went up Interstate 35 towards the Oklahoma border where a lot of the damage was happening, and he was right there, Johnny, on the spot, and he pulled up, and of course traffic stopped on the highway, and you see debris flying, and I mean the tornado is just hundreds of yards away from him, and instead of everybody else is trying to back up, get back away from it, he goes right around everybody, he goes right on up in there and gets as close as he can, and I worry that, like you, that those guys are really putting themselves in danger, but they thrive on it.
I, no, no, no. I mean, you don't know which way they're going to go. I mean, the power they have, and the
You
power of a
don't.
tornado is. I mean, well, we know it's devastating.
Well,
It's just
and this supercell, as I watched it for almost 2 hours from the time it was first detected on the ground, or as a funnel cloud before it reached down to the ground and becomes a tornado. But I watched it, and it was zigzagging. It was like going in different directions and dropping south and going east, and then would tilt back a little bit to the northeast, and then drop back south again. And it was coming across, and I was watching close because I wasn't real sure. I have seen those things make right hand turns or left hand turns and take a total different direction before. So you really, if there's one within 30, 40, 50 miles of you, you need to pay attention because
yeah, it's
they also spawn up other storms, which happened in this particular case. At one time, there was two or three circulations detected in that supercell. Once it got into Arkansas, Rogers, Arkansas, got hit pretty hard. Same supercell system that came through. there was multiple vortex seen by Doppler radar there. So, like I say, you just don't know, and things can drop down out of the sky at any point, any place. So
It's just
no
weird
rhyme
how
or
that
reason.
how that works, how that spinning, how that is. Again, I don't remember learning it. How that causes the weather causes that circular motion and everything else, and
Well, it's 3 points of three different things have to come together to actually form that type of circulation between the lift and multiple winds converging in separate directions, which causes the spin, which then causes the same thing as when you flush your toilet. You see that
yeah,
funnel go down. It's the same property. Once it starts spinning, then it can pick up steam. It can slow down. It can weaken, which they do. They weaken and then strengthen and weaken and strengthen as they go along their paths. And down here in Texas and the South, anywhere in the tornado belt, you've got to be aware. You've got to kind of always be looking out for the sky this time of year. Hey, I was just telling you earlier that yesterday on our car thermometer it read 100 degrees. Officially, it didn't reach 100 because our records are kept at DFW Airport, which is between Dallas and Tarrant County, is where Fort Worth is, and just to the north of us along the Denton County line. And so, a little bit of difference in longitude can make a difference in a degree or two. So, officially, we didn't hit it, but I believe we did here. It's been 100 plus with the heat index. Our humidity levels have been extremely, extremely high in the 80s, 90s. Uh, Texas weather.
that's warm enough. And for May, that's warm enough. The hottest months are yet to come, so that's warm
Oh yeah,
enough.
yeah. I guess it's kind of a trade-off. Now we got the humidity with the heat, which gives the heat index to blossom. And then once the drier air starts coming in late July and August, you got a drier heat, but you're 1.8, 1.9, 1.10 with actual temperature. And so I mean it's either with the humidity or it's a dry heat. Either way, it's still dead gum hot.
Still hot. That's like Vegas, 110 still 110, even though it's not humid. And
Yes,
the
sir.
only thing the only thing I like about that is I've never slidden through an intersection at 90 degrees outside. I've never had to shovel heat. I've been saying that for years. I've never had to shovel heat, so that's
Not
why I
just
like that.
perspiration. You have to shovel the perspiration off of it, as you
Yeah, that's
fire. So
that's for sure.
for sure. So,
Wow.
are you ready to let's go ahead and move along
Yeah,
today? I
good
know
to see
folks have things
everybody.
to do today. We appreciate you guys who have joined us. I got quite a few that is with us already. Mark Rector, Charlie Johnson, Sean White. Who else we see there, Randy?
Rex Wake, Ken, Charlie, Sean, Carl. Yep, you got them. Michael, Herbie's on. Tammy's there. Mike from Canada. Bill. Yeah, we got a bunch of. Thank you guys for joining us. Doug
Ken,
just
Cra-
I saw
Ken
on here.
Kringle's
Doug,
joining us
right?
on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yep.
Rex is here. So yeah, got a
Fantastic.
good Memorial Day crew going. Thank you, folks, very much.
All right, let's go ahead and jump into this hot topic that we got today. Got a couple of good subjects again, as always, our favorite part of the show. So let's go ahead and get started with that. You ready?
I'm ready for that burger. It's gonna be on the grill later too, just like this.
All right, Randy, throw it out there at them. Let's see what we get.
All righty, guys. Just a question here going. How do you handle an event when you get sick? Do you call somebody to replace you? Do you cancel somehow? Biggest question is how do you prevent getting sick? That's probably the biggest thing. How do we prevent ourselves from getting sick during the holidays? But how do you take care of it? We know it happens to each and every one of us, especially a couple of years ago with the COVID bit. We said, oh, we're done for weeks, maybe. So how did you, or anytime, anything that happened, how do you handle when you get sick? Do you have a list of people you contact? or that can. But most Santas are pretty busy that time of year, or Mrs. Clauses. So how do you cover your event if you're sick? But biggest thing is how do we prevent from being sick?
Prevention is a big topic
Yeah.
because there's, I mean, sometimes it's inevitable that you're going to get sick. To lessen the severity of the sickness, I know most of us take a large regimen of supplements, vitamins, and different things. I know some folks took ivermectin during the COVID outbreak, which some people swore by, some people didn't. It's a matter of opinion, like a lot of things. I mean, for me, I keep up my vitamin regimen, of course, closer to the season. If you're not active, you definitely need to try to get more active, build up your immunity with exercise, walking. Just 5 or 10 minutes a day can make a difference in how your body reacts to things. If you get sick, which happened to me my very first year at the mall, couldn't find a replacement within the system, and luckily enough, one of my local Santas was off. Well, he wasn't actually off. He worked for a company where he could reschedule his appointments, and he rescheduled, came in and worked for me on a Sunday. Monday, I was feeling better. It was a stomach virus, one of those where you spend a lot of time behind a closed door. Uh, Stomach just didn't just wasn't gonna happen. I mean, I wasn't going to go to the mall and get sick and have a scene there. So anyway, felt better Monday after taking Imodium and resting and lots of fluids, and went back on Monday. No more, got home at night and had a reoccurrence, and so I missed Tuesday. But thank goodness he was available. And then there's been a couple of years when I was running a fever and couldn't find a replacement, just had to tough it out. It was the last week before the season, and I worked several days one year with 102, 103 fever, but I didn't want to be there. I didn't feel like being there. I knew I was, probably making children sick, and I didn't want that. But what do you do? I mean,
That's the
when
thing. That's during the holiday time. What do you do?
do
Because
you do?
everybody's working, and you can't be without Santa. So, like you said, Bob, a lot of people we just tough it out during depends on how. I mean, sometimes we physically can't, but we just tough it out. But and what we don't want exactly you said, we don't want to get anybody else sick either. So that's that fine fine line. But vitamins, protein, water, walking, all those preventions, start doing it weeks before you go. Just get your immune system up and everything else.
Hydrate.
I,
Pedialyte, Hydrocharge, which is another great way. I mean, there's lots of those sports drinks that are better for you than others because some don't have some of the sugars and things that diabetics can't have. So you got to be careful there too with what you take. Read the labels, but yeah, hydration and
yeah,
exercise I think is a big part, and of course the vitamin regimen.
and don't forget to get your rest, whatever way you can. Get your rest in between. At night, get whatever sleep you can.
Yeah,
So it's not
of course.
easy because sometimes we don't have a choice. But exactly like what
And
Tammy said, what you said, Bob, get your vitamins in, do the extra, all the
yeah.
extra vitamins that'll help ward off some of that stuff. Um,
And the other preventions are go to your doctor and get a flu shot and get
yeah,
get different things that could prevent. If you believe in preventive medicine, by far go see your doctor and get those things. See if he can help.
Charlie says we got Charlie right in here. Charlie says depending upon how much lead time I have, I can call their Santa, and if I can't to get a hold of anyone, I'll call the client and try to reschedule. Plenty of vitamins, especially vitamin C. Get plenty of exercise. Like Bob said, just walk. I realize in northern part we can't really walk outside. There's malls, there's places we can go that we can walk to get that extra. Just keep our metabolism going and all that. So um, then Doug says, I had to cancel my first one this past season. Got a kidney stone. Oh, wow. Yeah. Um, and I ended up in the hospital. Did not prevent it. offered both of my Thursday night visit to reschedule. One did not. The other one had the father rush out and get a suit for Party City. The kids saw right through it. So we visited about 2 weeks later. I try to swim, take 80 to 25 yard, 80 laps, 25-yard pool 4 times a week. I take elderberry. I think that's what I say.
Elderberry's great.
Elderberry to prevent colds, etc. As well, getting all the shots. And that's like Bob said, get your shots, get a flu shot. All those things. Don't. I know it just helps prevent. And prevention too is changing gloves all the time when you're on set. So when a child comes up, you're constantly touching them. At least you can get clean gloves because you're touching your face, and the transfer is quick and easy with your gloves to your face. And stay hydrated, of course, when you're in the chair. I did many years ago. I thought I was having a heart attack way back 25 years ago, and I didn't make a Saturday morning breakfast. Mrs. Claus did. She went in my place and did the reading and all that. But it can happen. We just have to fill in. Um, Ken says my RA treatment lowers my immune system, so I use sabbatical preempt whatever during every season. Probably preemptive. I hope that's the right way if I'm saying it right. And that's what we got to do. We got to be proactive instead of reactive on not getting sick, even though it can happen or things can come up. But that's what we have to do. That's why we got to be proactive about the whole thing. Tammy says eat healthier. Very true. Forget the French fries and the pizza and all that kind of stuff. Eat good protein, salmon and things like that during the holidays. I post job on Hoosier Santa's group. And that's what we need to do when you have brothers and sisters that you're connecting with. Put it out right away if you know you can't, or of course, got to pick up the phone as soon as you can. Ray Bradbury, good to see you. I have already started my shots and prevention. What pneumonia shots? You have to have 2 pneumonia shots or something like that. I think you got to take, and so Rhonda's on now too. Good to see you, Everett Strello. I think I got it finally that word right. Cool. Yeah, it's I know it's a long time away yet, technically, but it's definitely something to think about. To me, in October, you start really working on your system in October and planning how. I stock up with tons of protein drinks. This Premier Protein, and basically I don't live on it, but it's probably 80% of my nutrients and everything else, because it gives me everything I need, and vitamin water and everything else, just to make sure that you don't catch, because it feels horrible when you get something, and we don't want to disappoint anybody or everything else. So, but cool, yeah. Best thing is everybody knows, try to prevent, and during the season, same thing. Just whatever you can, get rest if you can. Keep hydrated.
Did you read Sean's comment there?
No, I didn't see Sean's. I just saw she was in Florida. That's all I saw. That's the only thing I saw, Sean. Sorry, I saw you're in Florida. You said I'm in Florida. Hello from Florida. That's Sean. Angela, Charlie, Doug, Rhonda, Everett.
Come in at 3:19.
There we go. Now I got it.
Got it. Okay.
I've been able to get through it. Sore throat, shots prior to the season, humidifier at night, rest. Capital letters. Sean wrote rest, and that's true. Yes. We got to get a good night's sleep. When I'm not working, I have filled in for Santa when COVID took Mel out, and Mrs. Claus Mrs. Claus can still read "'Twas a Night Before Christmas." Mrs.
Yes.
Claus can still talk to the children about what Bernard did and the reindeer. I mean, they know all those things. They know more than we do.
Or what they
So
want for Christmas because they can
yeah, they
take
can
it back
ask
to
all that.
Santa.
Yeah. So it's Mrs. Claus can definitely fill in for Santa. Um, it's it's a good one to do. So, but it is
Now,
uh,
Ray Bradshaw says up there that he is not walking in 106 temperature. He's in North Texas with me. He's in Denton. Matter of fact, he was a lot closer to the devastation of the tornadoes the other night than I was. I'm sure him and Curlin was hunkered down
wow.
because the storm damage was only just a town or two north of him, which was maybe at best 10 miles, 7 miles, maybe even closer to that. I'm not real sure where in Denton they live, but
That's a little too close, you know. That's a little too close. Hi,
Everett says
AJ.
that includes blood sugars and heart issues. That's correct, Everett. Us guys at our age, most of us have these issues, and yeah, make sure that that you eat correctly and keep your blood sugar levels. I check mine twice a day, first thing in fasting, and then 2 hours after my dinner, and take my metformin, make sure that I keep my numbers down and stay healthy there. And of course, many of us take heart medication also. So
Sure do. Everett says, I know that they have IV injections of a
mhm,
different fluids, also known as IV injection therapy,
that's correct.
specifically IV vitamin therapy. Um, yeah, there's especially things, especially if you're on that border and you need a I shouldn't say a quick pick me up, but I guess in a way that's what it is. Um, but get go into your local family doctor and they can take care of all that stuff for you. Uh, just think. Well, we do it all year. Think ahead for the season. We've got 6 8 weeks. This is a shorter season this year because the day that Thanksgiving falls, we lose a whole weekend. It's the latest it's going to be. So um, we have to make sure we're healthy for the whole season, which is a week shorter than last year.
Yep. AJ says he IVs I don't use, so I can't answer that question. No, but your dad sure can, AJ. And of course, Andy is at the fire department, works
Sorry
as a
about
paramedic, and I'm sure he probably gives IVs daily.
Yeah, he's definitely putting them into, uh, Everett says they actually have storefronts that offer this therapy.
Yeah,
Storefronts? Interesting. Just like what was it, like a CVS, you mean, like that, or a Walgreens, whatever, that type of storefront? Like a
maybe
regular
Everett can throw in the comments there what he
Yeah, yeah. I
what.
mean, I know they can do flu shots and all those kind of things. Pharmacies can, so but yeah, it's something we have to put on our regiment to make sure that we get. It's no different than getting your suit cleaned and your boots shined just before, or your last minute bleaching done. We got to make sure we take care of the inside of our body so we don't get sick. Small clinics and RN doctors, etc., who are administrators. Okay.
Very good, very good. Well, fantastic. That was a fun little segment
Yeah,
as
great,
usual.
guys.
Yep.
As always, thank you so much.
If we have anything else come in, we'll be sure and pick it up. Let's go ahead and get the second question going. How many of you started your Claus career doing charity or free for family and friend events? I know I did. I think many do, but we're interested in knowing if that's how you got started. Did you do that for just one season to get your feet wet, or a number of seasons? Have you become dependent on the income to supplement your retirement or to maintain your level of Claus business, which is important? If you was to decide to stop doing claws, would you be forced to seek income elsewhere? That's a whole gamut full of questions there, but kind of all tie hand in hand. How many of you started out doing charity and free work? Again, I did for family my first season and a few friends, a couple of small gigs like HOA, school, just to make sure that it was what I wanted to do before I made that big investment.
Yeah,
How'd you
it's
get started, Randy?
um actually my first time it was just because I was doing magic and all that. A friend of mine was a photographer at a local mall, and the Santa got sick. Santa got sick.
There you
Can
go.
you fill in? Can you fill in? Of course, that was when nobody really had real beards back then. It was all designer ones. They weren't very well designer back then either, back in the early '80s. But I did that, even though, and it was like $10 an hour, so it felt like it was charity anyway. And that was
Yeah,
close to the end of the season, so I didn't do a whole lot that year. But the following year, because I kind of thought it was fun and crazy, I did more charity work that way, or not charity, but a few freebies that way to get. If do you want to do it? Do I want to do less magic, less balloons, and more Santa before I invest any? So exactly what you said. So that was the following year. Um, and income, yeah, it is part of the income. There's no doubt about that. It's part of my entertainment income. And if if
now
and
with the
when,
now with the inflation the way it is, and the cost of just everything. I mean, anything across the board is inflated, and since COVID, and of course supply chain, I think started that ball rolling, and it's just gone downhill ever since. And so I think many of us, if we for some reason didn't perform as Santa, might have to go out and take a job, to make ends meet, just to be able to pay for our medications more than anything
yeah, I
else.
mean, it's. I mean, sure, we always keep things aside for our Santa business, but
Uh-huh.
is also that some money goes back in the bank or whatever. It's necessity to. And there's a lot of Santas out there that do free work all season, and that's I got to give them thumbs up. Hopefully, they're creative tax writers, so at least they can get a tax
Yeah,
break,
yeah.
or they get something for their time and effort because it is a cost. But yeah, for me,
Of
I know
course,
it would be I would have to subsidize my income somehow if I decide to hang up or when I decide to hang up the red suit.
yeah. And it truly is a blessing to be able to have a good paying job, a career where you do have financial stability after you retire and you're able to get out and do all charity work. I mean, how good does that feel? I mean, to be able to know that you don't have to have the income
Yeah,
and can go out and do it for free. And I mean, I know many of us do charity work. It's a portion of what we do
yeah,
each year, and so and that always feels good to do charity work. I don't care what it is. I never think twice about the money. I just think about how much fun I'm having and the smiles on the families and children's faces. That for me, that's all the pay I need at times. But again, we do have to supplement because of, like we said, it is a business. We have upkeep on our suits and all the different things we've talked about in the past. All right, let's grab a few of these, Randy. See what we got here. I
got a
think
few good.
AJ was the first one. Said my dad did a parade in 2020, and I hope to do a parade this year. That would be fun for you, AJ. You'd have fun with it. Charlie says I started out doing it for family, and then did a nursing home where my sister worked pro bono. Everett says my first two visits as Santa were at a church party, Santa, and then a karate studio party. Although we do work for pay, to pay for our expenses, we still offer several charitable visits each year, even to include fundraising. That's correct, Everett, and I think that's the perfect mix for all of us. We do
Yep.
have to charge certain gigs. Some gigs we can get by with doing that fundraiser or charity, and again, it's always for a good cause. AJ says I started doing family only, but have done it in public before, and I plan on getting some gigs this year with my designer beard so I can change my look, etc. Santa Kevin says he made it. He's here. Hello, Kevin. Hi, Adam. Good to have you with us today, brother. Hadn't seen you much lately. I got my flu shot every year before my season starts, and as we should. If you're, if you have immune issues and have had, the flu, the COVID, respiratory problems, definitely get out and get those shots. Charlie says, now it's a blend of pro bono and paid. I don't need the Santa income to live on in My screen jumped. Sorry, guys. Retirement, thankfully. It's a good feeling, Charlie. I know. Bill Corbett says started doing free events at a local long-term care homes for 2 years. More I spent, then decided that I needed to recoup my costs. It's true, very true, and it is good, like I said, to get started and do those type of things. I know after my first season, I knew it was something I wanted to pursue at a higher level. So that's when I went to Tim Conahan's class, me and my wife, and it's been uphill ever since. So Doug Wright says, when I started, I did some free visits. Excuse me. Free visits for my coworkers. I always do a couple of charities each year to give back. Wanted to try to develop my in-home presentation and needed some families who knew I was just starting out, had a few paying gigs. Uh, I take almost all of the money I make and reinvest into my business suits, both mine and middle class. Props, lots of props, which is very true with Doug and Diane. Giveaways and going to conventions, etc. But we have used the funds to buy some items that we would have spent our retirement funds on, like electric bikes, camping stuff, etc. That's okay. You worked hard for it. You spend it however you see fit, and hey, that's part of recreation. Bikes, camping is all part of R&R, which is all part of your rest, which is all part of being healthy. It's not just physical, but also mentally, and you got to be mentally healthy at the same time.
We got a Rex-ray above there, above Bill. After my beginning as service station at a service station, I did friends, family, churches, and many years before going professional. Yeah, that was right after Charlie's pro bono.
Okay, I was reading off of my
Yeah,
Facebook, and
yeah,
it
yep,
didn't show up on Facebook.
no problem. I just didn't want to miss Rex.
Thank you, thank you. Let's see, we covered Doug, Kevin.
Got shown on the bottom there.
Okay, when I started, I was asked to be the first Mrs. Claus in my great grandmother's small town. It was on an honor, hours in the town hall and the parade. A few years, I still make sure to give back every season. Now I give to the school. Money is welcome to help further my education and continue the ability to give back. That is so wonderful, Sean. For me, I do the Santa color run, 5K color run each year. It's a charitable event that I do. And the reason I love doing it so much, number one, it is at the mall. It's not associated with Cherry Hill, but it is part of what the mall gives to our community, along with a whole host of corporate sponsors. And all the proceeds, every bit of the proceeds go to our local teachers association and students in the Mesquite Independent School District. And I'm always more than happy to do whatever those folks need me to do. Adam says this is his 17th year in the suit. That's fantastic, Adam. You've had a good career so far, brother. Keep it up. Mark Rector says started with photo sessions, paid and school pictures, freebies, church freebies, has shifted to more photo sessions. Worked with 7 different photographers last season. He's added HOAs and more corporate events this season. A lot of home visits already booked this season. This will be season 3. It's looking good so far. Yes, I would have to seek other income if I call done. And again, Mark, Randy had a good point earlier about having only 3 weekends this year between our Thanksgiving and our Christmas. So, I don't know, and this may be another question for another day, but is anyone raising their prices, or are they being more selective with their gigs that they are accepting, because time is of a premium this year? So just another thought. Maybe that'll be next week's. Terry Webb's with us. He says hello from lower southwest Alabama. Looks like Mark Rector also has his first parade this December. Hi, Bart. Good to have you. Started portraying in 1997 pro bono until 2020 when turned pro. Still do plenty of pro bono, but we work for pay as well. That's very true. Like I said, most of us have to have to find that fine line. What can you do for free? Give as much as you can back to charity, to your local hometown, to any event that you feel is worthy. Again, be careful and look at the prospect that if these events are paying other vendors or exhibitors or different folks to come in, uh, maybe you should charge a small fee, not maybe your full amount that you normally do. Maybe just a small fee to help cover your expenses for that day. That's another way to still give back, but still not go in the hole doing it. Mark says he's already booked every weekend in November as well.
There's one you.
Bart says he raises his prices every year. So
There's a YouTube one.
let me go over here to my
Ken's got a one.
Ken. Okay, here it is. Okay, Ken Kringle says from YouTube, I'm an industrial engineer, have a chestnut orchard and carved Santa belt, so Santa will be retirement income in a couple of years. Hope to break even financially at Santa this year. Good point, Ken, and sounds like you got your hands full, brother. Got a lot going on there, but that's okay. Enjoy it while you can, man. As long as you got your health, keep on keeping on. Everett says we have been busy rebooking our last year's clients to ensure they get their dates and times. That's important too. And again, we've mentioned this on the show and talked about it in other forums, but you should have a email listing of your clients from year to year, and reach out to those folks first. Offer them the best deal you can offer them. Make sure you get them booked first, and that way you retain the clientele that you have from year to year, and then build off of that with new clientele.
Because this year, like I said, you've got one less weekend. So if you're doing whatever ABC company on the second weekend, now it might be the same as the third weekend from XYZ company, and you gotta. It's not going to be easy sometimes to fit everybody in.
Mark puts it best. Going to be a busy season this year.
We'll take it. Busier the better. That means more smiles.
All right, my brother here in North Texas with me, Russell Hurd says, I try to let my hometown know who I am and that I do freebies, but they're still uninterested in utilizing my skills. Well, that's their loss, Russell. If they only knew what quality of a professional Santa they had right there in their own backyard. Of course, again, the city that you live in is growing rapidly, and it has been a one horse town for many, many, many years. And as towns begin to grow, new city council members come in, new mayors, and of course, your school district begins to grow. All that changes. So keep your name out there. Don't give up. Keep reaching out year after year and let them know that, hey, I'm still here and I'm still doing this and I'm still your best option.
Hi, Mel. Mel made it on. Good to see you, Mel.
Yes. Hi, Mel. Good to see you, dear. Terry Webb says sending video emails out for return clients, booking quick. New ones are booking. Fantastic. Russell said Melissa Lynn, 15 demerits, laugh out loud. Uh-oh, she's in trouble. She was late.
There's another one from Rex on YouTube.
From Rex?
Yes.
Rex says, well, this old elf is wanting to slow down some, so we'll use the short season to help do just that. That is something Rex and I talked about earlier this year. He and I was chatting, and there is going to come a time when either help and or just not having the energy that's the get up and go to get out there and do what you used to do at the same rate and level that you used to do it. So again, when that time comes, it's you'll know it. You'll be able to decide if and when. And as Rex says, he's going to use this short season to help kind of slow down a little bit.
And
Great point, Rex.
It's always a rough thing to do that too. But it's great that you know when it is time, because we need to give the 100+% to everybody when we're out there performing. So it's good to know when it's not easy to hang up that red suit, because the return is fantastic, but it'll be good for
It's
your
not.
Rex to take it one step down at a time. That's great.
And as we found in 2020, there's always the virtual side. If you are not able to get out and be mobile as you used to be, uh, you can always try to build your virtual, business and have a studio at home. Again, work with photographers. There's other ways without just running yourself into the ground. Bart says, sending you guys some Santa love from the Badgerland Santa's Facebook group. Fantastic. Russell says, eat and meet this weekend. Are we going to the Christmas store after? Russell, that's a long way to go across town. I don't know. And actually, Spangle had asked me that same question earlier. I think it was this last week. And I looked, and the Christmas store is closed right now. Each May and June, they close down. They have a series of warehouses full of inventory besides their retail location. They shut down in late May, early June, and rotate their inventory so that they've got new stuff year after year, or different things, completely restock the stores, and then they open up for Christmas in July. So they're closed, brother. They'll be closed for another 2 weeks.
I'll be back.
Sean, first thing I do is block off dates for our family time. Next is loyal clients dates. This year is going to be crazy busy for everyone. That's true. And that is a good point, Sean. I'm glad you brought that up. Always when you're making out your schedule from year to year, and even on these years like last year when we had lots of days in between Black Friday and Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Christmas, uh, always look at having a little bit of downtime. Set aside just a little bit of time somewhere down through there. If it's even, as Gordon Bailey used to say, he would take one day off in the middle of his season from the mall just to get his hair processed to make sure that he looked good, because that was part and is part of our contract that we sign each year, is that we maintain that white as snow look, and they'll call you out for it. The photo companies will call you out for it. So and that gives you a little bit of downtime. It's not going to take all day to get your hair processed, but those few extra hours that you can go home, just kick your feet up and re-energize to kick the rest of the next 2.5 weeks of the Christmas season off. It really helps. I did it one year and enjoyed it immensely, taking a day off.
It can really be that mental health time you need sometimes, especially if you work long shifts. Can make a big difference for
Yeah,
your physical and mental and everything else.
absolutely. Russell says it's a long way for me too. Yeah, because he lives 30 minutes east of me. So, and the Christmas store is in East Fort Worth, right on the Arlington-Fort Worth line. So it is a long way over there. But again, Russell, Spangle is dying to come down and go to the store. So he wants to, as soon as it opens back up and we get a chance, have another eat and meet and have it over there in that part of town like we have in the past, and then go to the Christmas store. So we'll look forward to that later on this year. All right, Randy, I think the comments have finally phased down. Fantastic job
Fantastic
as
as always.
always, guys. 45 minutes or so on the first part of the show. That's a great beginning for a great day. Let's go ahead and jump into our santascloset.org video, and we'll be right back for the trivia.
Hey everyone, Angela Mack here for Bob, Randyl, and Company Live, the show about nothing. Season 3 of Bob, Randyl, and Company Live is brought to you by santascloset.org, where you can find all your accessories for the discriminating Santa, Mrs. Claus, and the elves. Visit Santa Wade's website at santascloset.org today, where they are known for delivering unique, value-packed Santa and Mrs. Claus accessories since opening in 2004. The goal has always been to provide both a superior customer experience at a tremendous value. Their products are fairly priced, and Santa Wade strives to bring many different products to the Claus community. Visit the website and make your next season a truly special one. This is Angela Mack reminding you all to catch our show every Monday at 3 p.m. Central. Thanks for watching. Now let's get back to Bob, Randyl, and Company Live and today's Monday Santa's Closet Trivia.
All right, Randy. And you're just going to throw the question up on the bottom of the screen so everyone can start reading it. And uh, real quick, over to Russell. He says he can hardly wait. You know, Russ, this weekend's going to be fun too. This next Saturday, we've got, I think, 64 folks signed up for our Eat Me. So it's going to be a great time if everyone shows up. And of course, you ate over there recently with us, and the food is always great, and a great facility there at the restaurant that we'll be going to. All right, Randy, the
Alrighty.
question's been up there on the screen for just a bit, and
Again, it's another fill in the blank. It's not as many blanks this time, so
well,
kind of fun.
I
And a
backed
yummy
off this
sounding one,
week.
especially.
I backed off this week for today's show and tomorrow's show. Trivia questions will be quite a bit easier, less blanks, and let's see how it goes this week.
Besides yummy sounding, that's the best part about this. Evidence suggests gingerbread existed as far back as blank BC. However, blank 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 is behind the modern day cookie. According to PBS, to impress a group of guests visiting, she asked for a gingerbread cookie designed to look like each visitor. That's right. Evidence suggests gingerbread exists far back as blank BC. However, blank 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 is behind the modern day cookie. According to PBS, to impress a group of guests visiting, she asked for a gingerbread cookie designed to look like each visitor, excuse me.
Yeah,
Gingerbread,
the
that stuff is just so powerful to eat. Wow.
again, I'm always kind of surprised, sometimes shocked at some of the answers that I find, or some of for instance, this one here, how far back gingerbread cookies go. I mean,
Yeah, that's a
BC in itself is a long time ago.
yeah, just say BC is and then the number before that is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, all right, guys, we're gonna let you work on that one. It again, I thought was an intriguing question, and when I ran across it, and second
Just
part of the question didn't shock me any as much as, like I said, the timeline on the first part did.
just
All right, work on
underneath the
that, and
building.
we will reveal our answer here in just a bit, and hopefully we have a winner. Good luck to everyone. Now then, guys, we got a brand new contributor to the Monday show, the Tuesday show, and our new Wednesday show that debuts next Wednesday. And more to talk about that in here in just a bit. But let's go ahead and run our video promo that we have for our brand new contributor to our shows at TNL Network, TNL Productions, and the Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday shows. That's right, guys. If you're looking to get insurance for your Santa business, for your other businesses, your home, your auto, it doesn't matter. They are a full service insurance, been in business for, well, since 1982, I believe it was, and been doing it for 50 plus years. Reach out. Reach out. 52 years is a long time. He must be doing something right. That's Larry Talbert. Most of you know him as for either his magic that he does, magic props that he sells, and or as a Santa, but mostly, he's been in the insurance company, a family insurance company for years and years. And we are glad to have him on board with TNL Productions.
Yeah, I mean Larry's got a quick answer, a great answer for anything you're concerned about your insurance. He's been doing it for a long time. It's a real he because there's so many insurance houses out there that are kind of fly by night. If you think you're going to do it, don't. Larry's got the true meaning of it. So
Full service, as I said, and
yeah,
him being a Santa and being able to insure Santas, he knows what Santas, Mrs. Clauses, elves, performers in general need. Again, was into magic long before he became a Santa. So I mean, he's another one of those multi-talented performers. And the cool part about what Larry has done is he's changed the industry in the last year and a half. Prior to him doing research on the policies and to find out that your suits and things were not covered in your general policy, that was only a
that's
liability. And to be able to write a rider for just a few dollars more that includes everything in your Santa business. Now I've noticed that IBRBS has went back and changed and got their policy changed. And I'm sure everyone else has followed suit since also. So Larry kind of changed the industry in that fact that he saw something that wasn't and helped make it better. Okay, let's jump in here with the Elf and Chatterbox news. Of course, we want to mention the drawing for the School of Santa scholarship will be during the Tuesday Night Live show tomorrow night. By the way, Angela, we need to get those names together. Don't let me forget to do that. Uh-huh. So if you have your name in the hat as an SOS winner and or I think, you know, since I guess right after Branson last year, August, around the 1st of August, all the way up until tomorrow night. Your name is in the hat. You have a good chance of winning that scholarship. It's a $459 value. We mentioned a moment ago about our TSS. That's the Texas State Santa's Eat and Meet, June 1st, Saturday, 1 p.m. Central Time. At the time when I wrote this, we now have over 60 signed up. Spangle, the clown, is coming down, bringing his 40-foot event trailer, a vendor's trailer, with all his goods to help service. We have Becky and Neil Norman. Becky is an agent working in the Santa community. She does work for Mitchell Allen at Hire Santa. By the way, Mitch is coming. She also helps Gina Bacon out at times. We also have Bill Dindy, Santa's tailor, going to be in the house. He's not bringing his vendor trailer or nothing like that, but he will be there to answer. I guess he'll have his tape with him if you want to get measured. I mean, it's going to be a great eat and meet. We're really looking forward to it.
that's big.
Los Rancheros Mexican Cafe. That's at 10261 Ferguson Road, Casaboo Shopping Center, Dallas, Texas. If you in the area and you decide you want to go this week, let me know.
That's big. That's 60 something. That's big. That's wonderful.
It's going to be a great event. And we got some new guys coming. That's what's really cool is got folks that's been doing it for years and get some new folks coming in that is going to join us. And I'm sure they're going to have plenty of questions to ask. So everyone that's going to be attending will be sharing. And again, that's what makes this industry such a great industry is that we all share with each other and help each other out. All right, Randy, tell us about Branson this year.
Of course, School of Santa. You can't miss it. School of Santa 2024. Branson, July, July 18th, 19th, 20th, and 21st in Branson, Missouri. You know, where entertainment and education mix. Spangle just goes all out. But of course, this year, the keynote speaker is Jeff McMullen. Wow. Besides a whole list of other great presenters, Jeff will be the key speaker for there. From, of course, Kringle U, his Shed, and Ringling Brothers, and on and on and on and on and on. Of course, he was just on Tuesday Night Live a week or two ago. If you didn't see it, look at the YouTube one. Jeff is incredible about that. They'll be drawing, of course, the winner for the scholarship, $400 some odd deal. That includes like 7 meals, 4 shows on all the classes, and not just that, all the fellowship. And that again is priceless to even say that. You know what a show costs if it's $50, if its meal is so and so, but it's a great weekend. Fun filled, like Spango was saying the other night, he's got stuff planned from the Monday starting till the day or so after. He just puts it all together. It's a great event. I think he said he can squeeze in 1 or 2 more. You're running out of time. It's a little over a month away. Is a month and a half, or barely a month and a half
Yeah,
away.
6 weeks.
Yeah,
6 weeks.
that's hard to believe. It'll be the middle of. Where does time go? Where does time go? Where does time go? Of course, next weekend we here in Michigan at MAPS have the Jingle Joy Retreat. Thursday and Friday is Christmas Performers Workshop 2. The two, every two. I'll get the two out there somehow. On Thursday and Friday. Thank you. And then Saturday is it's all being taking place at the Rooftop Landing Reindeer Farm in Clare, Michigan. So you get to spend all time with the reindeer, and then Saturday you can take pictures with the reindeer. There's going to be a class learning about care about reindeer, which always helps your education go on. There's crafts that day, fellowship, and that's June 1st. So I guess there's about 40. There's 38 or 39 at the school, but of course a prepay. And then, but Saturday is yes, Saturday is free, just like these shows are. Um, so it's just a get together, like your luncheon is. That's June 1st for the Jingle Joy Retreat in Clare, Michigan. Man, just always something with this community, always something going on, and that's what it just amazes. Somebody will put something on somewhere, And last weekend we had a luncheon up here in Lapeer, Michigan again. A bunch of Santas and Mrs. Clauses got together just for fellowship, just to get together for lunch. Man, it's a there's no other business that does this, or group of people besides this business that does that. And
Not
that
on a regular basis the way that
no,
our brother and sisterhood does. There's just
yeah,
the sense of family, the sense of togetherness, the sense of love, the sense of just friendship in general. I mean,
it's
I've said this before. You've had, through life, you have lots of different friends, start from childhood, through your school age years. You get out into the workforce, you make friends, and if you have hobbies, you make friends. But never ever have I ever seen anything like the Santa community. It's such a blessing to be part of.
It's pure. I it's kind of weird. You tell people about it outside the industry, and they just don't get it. They don't understand, and it kind of. I shouldn't say this word, but it kind of scares them a little bit because they think it's kind of like just it can't be the way it really is or something. But it's it's phenomenal. It's especially when something happens to a fellow Santa or Mrs. Claus or now we're there to take care of or just to
Outpouring.
keep it's just the outpouring is just phenomenal. So thank you folks always.
Yep, fantastic. All right, so moving along, the
Keep on
TNL
going.
family and brand is expanding. Uh, we've formed TNL Network. That's right, we are a network now because we're going to be broadcasting across multiple. Not that we weren't already, because we were, Facebook and YouTube already, but now we're going to be going to other Facebook groups. Santa Mill Santa Magical Fellowship Group is part of the TNL network now. Uh, our new show on Wednesday night, the Kringle Brothers, Michael Howe and Herbie the Elf, will be coming on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, for a show that you do not want to miss. I'm telling you guys, if you've ever seen those two together, even in an informal event, no less as educators, you're going to be blown away by the talent that these guys have. The pure comedy of it all is enough to keep you in stitches. We're so excited to bring them on board. They will be airing Wednesday night. That is on our YouTube channel, our Tuesday Night Live channel. They also are making their own Kringle YouTube channel, which will be simulcasting too, and we'll also have their Facebook group. So we're going to be like pushing out to 4 or 5 different places at one time, broadening our feelers, getting ourselves out there even further. That brings us to Thursday night. You cannot forget Santa Mel, Melissa Lynn Rickards, Santa's Magical Fellowship Group. If you are not a member, get over there and join. If you have not joined one of their fellowships on Thursday night, you are missing out
Wonderful.
on a great opportunity. Her platform that she uses is Zoom. Therefore, everyone is on screen. Everyone can speak. It's sometimes open subject. Sometimes she has special guests. But as soon as her show is over with, she's going to be bringing in also 1 week. Sean White will be educating with her show. The following week, Erica Minton, which is Wingnut the elf, as Mel likes to describe it. It's like an elf that is a NASCAR
Mm-hmm.
pit crewman, pit crew person mixed into a Santa community. I mean, it's crazy. It's hilarious. If you don't know Erica, you need to get to know her. Drop by on Thursday nights, and like I said, those will be alternating shows. One week, one the next. So they'll be on each twice a month on Thursday nights. And I think are we having trouble with the trivia question?
Yeah.
Are we? Man, I can't hardly make them any easier.
I thought we had somebody close. And
Had
there's
a score on the, but they're in timeout.
Oh, they're in timeout. I see.
Yeah.
All right, so the correct answer is in the comments. If anybody wants to
yeah, there
feel
we go. I
free
didn't know it was timeout. Yeah, there we go.
to
That's
grab
why.
them, that person is in timeout. So, all right. So we mentioned it. Our two new personalities coming on Wednesday. Our two new personalities alternating shows on Santa's Magical Fellowship Group, and going to be a fantastic rest of the summer, all the way down to the end of the season when we close out and get ready to go to work as performing clauses. So check us out, man. We're going to be on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And hey, who knows? We may have some more stuff coming. All right, let's go on into tomorrow night's show. Tomorrow night, May 28th, Megan Price from Gig Salad is our guest. She has never been on the show. She's been on a lot of other platforms. You may have seen her out in the field at some of the events. She's always at School of Santa's, and she's been with Gig Salad for as long as I've been in the industry, and she is one knowledgeable, very helpful, very friendly, personable young lady who loves her job and does it well. Got a whole ton of stuff to ask her tomorrow night. If there's anything you ever wanted to know about Gig Salad and we don't have to cover it, we've got the comments and questions at the end of the show. Chime in and ask her anything you want to ask her. She'll be free to answer those questions for you. Now, next week after that is June 4th. This one I'm excited about also. This is Santa Doug, who's joining us today, and Diane Wright. Doug and Diane recently presented at the ISE in Memphis. They're making your home visit a lasting memory. The last 2 years, they have done my North Texas Sat Bob's class. First year was a little over an hour and 15, 20 minutes. This last year, I think they went an hour and 45 minutes. They could do a whole day's worth of presentations just on what they do, what they have, the props they use, how they incorporate stories, books, props, and he just recently bought some more props. So check that out on June 4th. Going to be fun, fun, fun. Doug and Diane Wright. Over to you.
Alrighty, then we're into, of course, almost the middle of June. June 11th is Kimmy Claus talking about all Mrs. Claus stuff. She has a peppermint stick report and another Zoom class event she does every week, strictly for Mrs. Claus. Now that the 11th is not just for Mrs. Clauses, they're men, but the groups she has on Facebook and all that are specifically for Mrs. Clauses. So she'll talk about that, but the night is not meant for it's meant for everybody. So it's just an exciting time to listen to her and how you can get so geeked up about this business too. That's what's great about Kimmy. Then on June 18th, David and of course Phineas the Elf. How they work together is just the different duo compared to Santa and Mrs. Claus. Because even though it's a helper, it's still a little different than Santa and Mrs. Claus. Just what a great duo, what they do together, the music, the interaction. Don't miss that on June 18th. David and Phineas. I know Mike's on today too, which is good. Good to see you, Mike. Then we're talking about July. Oh, wait, that was July 9th. Excuse me. Right? No, July 9th. July 9th is the next one is Mitch Allen, head elf of Higher Santa. I don't know if you don't know about Higher Santa, but it's a agency, and Mitch and Jenny, they are just a fantastic company to hire Santas and Mrs. Clauses, anywhere from just home visits to big box stores and production event shows and everything else. So he's going to talk about his connection with Google Calendar. If you got Google Calendar that you use, he connects them so he knows when you're busy. No sense in bothering you if he sees your calendar is booked. He'll go to somebody else. So it's a great thing that they're trying to connect at Higher Santa. Don't miss that on the 9th. Then, of course, boy, it's hard to believe it'll be preview night, the 16th of July for Branson. Let you know everything from head to toe what's going to be going on. And it's a lot, always every year at School of Santa. The speaker agenda and everything else. We're going to go over and of course, how can you talk much more about Jeff McMullen? But that'll come up and the shows you're going to see, and the parade, and just barbecue and the cobbler, and oh, now I'm hungry. But yeah, that'll be on the 16th of July. So so much to talk about. It's such a big event coming up.
We arrive on the 15th. The 16th will be our live show from there. We'll have Spangle, we'll have Jessica, and anyone else who happens to be in. Scott Serraton will be with us that night. And so, going to be fun. Back to Mitch Allen real quick. He's going to talk about the SWAT team, Santas, and the Weekend Warriors. Those are new things that he also wants to talk about. So, all right, fantastic. Going to be a great 6 weeks coming up. Absolutely. All right, did we get a winner?
No,
No winner. What are we missing?
nobody's claims.
Okay.
What about Ken? Ken Kringle?
Hold on, now we have a winner.
Okay.
I walk away for a second and come back. Yeah, it's Ken Pringle.
Okay, Ken Kringle is our winner. Fantastic, Ken. Thank you for playing, my friend. I'll get your information. Do we have his information?
I don't
I
think.
think we do either. Ken, if you will, send me in a private message your full mailing address, and I'll get that over to Wade Kaufman at Santa's Closet and get you a trivia prize out to you.
Here's the reading of evidence suggests that gingerbread exists as far back as 2400 BC. 2400 BC. Gingerbread went back that far. However, the Queen Elizabeth I was the other answer. Queen Elizabeth I is behind the modern day cookie. So 2400 BC, that's a long time ago. How do they even have record of that? That's one heck of a recipe, you know?
Well, when you think about it,
Makes
that's,
sense. I mean,
over 4,000 years ago. That's a long time ago.
people still had to eat, you know, if there was still people had to eat. So there was flavors. So, but the Queen Elizabeth I was behind the modern day cookie until
Crazy.
very, very cool. Very cool.
All right, well, fantastic, Randy. You ready to throw out some TIPSs?
Yes, sir. We're going to give her a shot. Let's do it up.
Right. Let's do it.
Hey. Hello, everybody. Good to see you. Thank you again for letting me bother you, or I guess I don't know if it's bother is the right word, but have some fun with you on Santa's tips. There's something I just want to show you that it's just something fun to talk about. Is I have 6 cards. Oh, they're wonderful cards. Of course, we all know Santa, of course, and Mrs. Claus. Of course, you know she runs the North Pole, and well, the second in charge probably would be the elf, and of course the North Pole is what we're talking about, and of course Frosty, and And good old Rudolph, of course, is, they ask, is that your favorite reindeer? And I always say, no, I don't have a favorite reindeer, but Rudolph helps me the most times ever. But I need someone, and it's going to be kind of hard to do. This is the little trick about um, when you're doing this trick, you ask the child, since you have 6 cards, and you can talk about the cards as much as you want to. They're just just pictures of Santa and Mrs. Claus and everybody, to have a child or someone tell you a number between 1 and 6. So let's just say a child says, I don't know, let's say 3. We'll say 3. It doesn't really matter. We can pick 6, 7, 5. Can't pick 7. There's only 6 cards. 5. It doesn't really matter. They do have a free choice of whatever number they want. So let's say 3. 1. Let's count together, everybody, and you do that. 1, 2, 3. Oh, we count 3 cards, and of course, you must have picked the North Pole. Now, you do the whole trick of saying that, Santa knew that you were going to pick the North Pole because that's the only card that is kind of different. These are all people and everything else, but of course, Santa knew that you would pick the North Pole. In fact, it says on the back, Santa knew you would pick this card, and oh, you were on the nice list, and Merry Christmas. And of course, the children ask, well, all the rest of them, but none of them have anything on the back but the number they pick. Now, it is a free choice. They can choose anything they want, any number they want to, between 1 and 6. It is a mathematical thing, and I will go through it rather quickly here. I do have other ones I have you can prearrange. You don't always have to have the same card. Let's say a child says 1. Well, then I say, Now 1 is a very, very easy number to do. So, because I know you're getting older and you're growing up, let's spell the number 1. Are you ready? O-N-E. Oh, what a coincidence. That got you to the third one. Or let's try 4. Let's count. Now, 4 can be counted or spelled, but it's easier just to count. 1, 2, 3. Oh, how surprising that is. It got you to that center card. Whenever you do it, it'll just get you to, or 2, you got to spell the number 2 also. Again, 2's too easy. T-W-O. F-I-V-E-S-I-X. It's all mathematically done, so they will always pick the third card. What I do is I've ahead of time, I have other ones that I use that I can, it's not always, so you can make a quick switch, and it's not always the candy cane. It'll always be that center card, or it won't always be the North Pole, but it'll always be that center card. So it's a fun little magic trick to do with the children if you want to, because they're just printed on your computer. You just give them to them all, then everybody gets a card, and of course the child that helped gets one that says they've been on the good list. So it's a fun thing to do like that. Now what was I gonna? Oh, this is what I a couple weeks ago we were talking about bringing things to home visits and everything, and somebody asked me to about what bag I use. This is a bag that I use that I do for a smaller home visit. It's still a good size bag. A friend of mine made them, but that's as big as I use for a lot of things that I do that I've shown you that pack small but still play large. And it fits in here. The only it really doesn't fit in here is if I do, something from a large box, if I use coins or something. A bag of coins does, but a box and everything doesn't, something like this. If I'm looking at something a lot longer, or if I'm putting on a bigger show, this is the large bag. This is a size bag that I, it's hard to see it, but this is a size bag I use. It's a much bigger bag that I carry in. for if you need 2, 3, 4 books, you need a if I bring up a larger magic prop like those Santas and Mrs. Clauses that switched around hippie hop Santas that take up a little bit more space. I need a bigger bag to carry in that still looks cool. I'll be honest with you, I found this at Burlington, is where I found this bag. I bought 2 of them at the time. They last me pretty good. I love the words. Believe in the magic of Christmas. It's perfect for me. But those are the bags that I use. But be honest with you, this one I use probably 90% of the time. It still fits 2 books, another small book, even because even some of the books that I bring, this is 'Twas the Night Before. Whoops, upside down. This is the 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, but it's very light because it's made out of material. It's also something else to talk about with the children, that it's a book that is sewn. It's all made out of material, even though it is the night before Christmas. It's got great pictures and everything else, but it fits well in there because it is material. So it's not a big, hard book. Any of the, small coloring book. What do I do with the coloring book? Little things like that. It fits. It fits in there. That's why I use the smaller coloring book if I bring that along instead of having a big book. And then coins, of course, they don't take up much room, especially if you put them in a bag. And coins, I usually use something like this. And this is a dual purpose. This is actually a magic bag besides. It has a secret pouch in there. But so it's used to hold coins. Besides, I can double it up as using it as a magic bag. It looks very Christmassy and everything else. So try to conserve a little space in your bag for bringing props in. So that's it. But have fun with the Santa. Find a card. You can fill time up because you can talk about each one of the characters quite a bit. And you can still then do a little magic, which doesn't really take a whole lot of practice. Thank you guys again. As always, thank you very much. And most of all, I want to thank everybody for, I shouldn't say thank them because they gave the ultimate sacrifice for Memorial Day. I hope we all remember the reason for today, remember and honor our fallen men and women in the military for today. So thank you again.
Great point, Randy. Great point. I love that card trick. Anything that most of us in the industry will call smalls, something that's small, that's easy to pack, easy to carry in and carry out. That's a great little trick. Doesn't take up much space. One of my bags that I carry is a ho bag. It's similar to the smaller of the 2 bags that you shown. It's amazing how much you can stuff in there as long as you keep it, like you say, to something that's smaller in size. And it's always good. I have one of those cloth storybooks too. It's not 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. It's a different story, but I love those too because the smaller children want, especially the toddlers, the babies, they always want to grab if they're within close proximity of you, and it won't cut their fingers, and
Right.
it's just great for the smaller children and stuff.
I bought the book at it came in a roll sheet at I think Hobby Lobby or something like that. It was and cut it out, sewed it, and it's been a great little. It's those things that are a little different that also you take and add things to extend your time and to talk with the children. They don't see books like that, so it really helps. It's the same story.
Yeah. Good conversation piece, though.
Yeah.
Well, all right, fantastic job as always, Randy. Just want to let everyone know, no nightcap today, no book review. We'll return that next week. I'm sorry. This weekend's been a whirlwind for me. Our only grandchild, our granddaughter Jada, graduated from high school. It's been go, go, go. Saturday, Sunday, we were gone all day long. I didn't get a chance to get the book review done. Finished up today's show last night. Still working on tomorrow's show. I'm about halfway through with this, so still got work to do. Hope to see everyone tomorrow. Hope to see you back here next Monday. have a wonderful Memorial Day. As Randy says, keep those who gave the ultimate sacrifice in your prayers. Those families who have lost those fallen heroes of ours, they went out and gave the ultimate sacrifice so the rest of us could enjoy this day and live in freedom and have the freedoms that we have. Thanks for joining us, Randy. Have a great one. We will see you later, brother.
Time for the barbecue. Bye,
Ah,
guys.
Angie's out there stuck in the grill right now for them ribs. Well, our